Hi everyone enrolled in GD2, the History of Graphic Design, and welcome to the summer 2020 version of this class. This is 100% online class. That's good news, I think, for most of you. The flexibility, the only downside that I see to online classes is sometimes they can feel a little impersonal. So that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this video right now, so that you have a voice to put with the name. You will interact with your classmates quite a bit during this class, so hopefully it will feel as much like a cohesive unit and, as welcoming as possible. Now, I'm not trying to scare anyone away, but I think we should start with some hard facts here. First of all, an online class requires a lot of discipline. In a 3-hour class, a normal 3-unit class, you have for each unit 3 hours of homework per week. You've probably heard that before. That's kind of the standard in colleges. But hold on, this is a summer class, accelerated class, so instead of lasting 16 weeks, it's only 8 weeks, so that's 6 hours of class per week, which times 3 would mean 18 hours of homework. So hopefully you're disciplined, hopefully you're blocking out chunks of time to do the homework. If you're not going to pass the class. I mean, that's pretty much the cold hard facts. So I just want to get that stuff out of the way right away. Another thing is that this is a college course. It involves critical thinking. In critical thinking is the ability to ingest knowledge by reading the book, for example, and then that knowledge becomes yours, and then you can talk about that knowledge like you know it. That's the whole point of taking a college class, is assimilating knowledge. So when we have these discussion posts where you answer a question, you should answer it in a professional tone like that. And then you peer review 2 other people's work to see if you agree with their answer and make comments about it. And we'll get into more of that as you see the instructions and the modules and so on. But I'm looking for professional sounding answers to the question and professional sounding replies to other student work, not, for example, yeah, dude, that was pretty cool, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So we have a criteria for this class that we set up via rubrics, and that is what you will be graded on. Also, we're trying to get you ready for the workforce, to sound professional, to write documents to other people that you work with. One thing that I like to get out of the way right away in a college course too is you've got to understand life is not fair. Most of us do, but we still often find ourselves just saying, well, that's not fair. It only took that student 10 minutes to read the assignment and they're ready to take a test on it. But that's just the way life is. People learn at different speeds. Some people have different gifts. Someone might tell you, well, you're not pretty, but you're smart. But some of us don't have any gifts like that, and some of us, like, say an actor like Ryan Reynolds, has all of them, right? Good-looking guy, can act, he's comedic. I mean, so life really, truly isn't fair, and things do come up. Maybe you have a serious relationship breakup, and that messes up your ability to study for a while. Death in the family. I mean, all of these things come up semester after semester for individuals. So you don't have a right to take a class and finish it if you can't complete the work that's done. So you may have to drop the class and pick it up another time. Life is not fair. Um, Grades. My least favorite part of being an instructor is arguing about grades, so I try to make everything as straightforward as possible for you via rubrics, via announcements inside of Canvas, so that you will see what's due and what is requested of you. So the best advice I can give you is just do the work, get it turned in on time, spend less time complaining about grades and just doing the work, getting it done, meeting the criteria. Along those notes, you will be dropped from class if you do not complete the first assignment by Friday, June 5th. Now, after that, you can, I wouldn't recommend it, but occasionally turn in a late work and you'll receive a 10% penalty on the grade for that assignment. But this first one is absolutely essential to get turned in on time because that is my way of taking roll. And all it is just a simple hello to the class. Again, you'll see that in the modules what the actual requirements are. But the college receives funding from the state. And if we have a student that's in a class that's not participating, it's not right that we receive funding. So the expectation is that I, as an instructor, will drop you if you're not participating in the class, and this is exactly how we find out. Navigating the class. So Canvas is our learning management system. Now, I just want to interject here. If you don't know what Canvas is, I'm going to show you, but you can't use that as an excuse. You're taking an online class, so you need to jump in, look at Canvas, learn about Canvas. If you have any troubles with Canvas, you need to contact a student and make sure that you can look at Canvas, do all the work in there each week, and that you can receive emails from me. So the most bulletproof way to get to Canvas is just start at the college's website, saddleback.edu. Click on Canvas. You'll be prompted to enter your credentials, and then you will enter Canvas. Now, your Canvas will probably look a lot different than mine because I'm an instructor. But what you do is somewhere in here, you find the class and click on it. Enter the class, so make sure that it says up at the top GD2, which is the history of graphic design, and you should see something very much like this welcome page here. I just switched over to student view so it'll look as much as possible like it will for you. And in Canvas, there's really 4 areas that we focus on in this class in Canvas. So unless I get back to you and tell you otherwise, it's safe and in fact encouraged just to ignore the other areas. So the key things for us will be announcements. Every week, go in, look at the announcement for the coming week. So for right now, there is just this one that shows, and this is basically just another way of saying welcome to the class, what the textbook is. There is a link in here for support that takes you back to the college's website for support with any student technical issues. Before we delve into that announcement and getting started in the class, I just want to go back to what I was saying, that these are the things that you need to pay attention to in Canvas. Announcements, modules, rubrics, and grades. Now, the syllabus is on the welcome page and on the first announcement. There is a section inside of Canvas called syllabus. Ignore that, please. Because when you go in here, it gives you a course summary. This is going to bounce around a bit. I still work on the courses it's going and move the due dates of things around. So please ignore that. You will get important updates from me via announcements. You will navigate through each week through the modules. So in other words, there'll be a little bit of reading, some additional videos in there, and the actual assignments that are due for that week. And then the rubrics tab is just simply a tab that I kind of cut myself off there because I just realized that in student view, rubrics is not showing up. I will either fix that problem, but more likely for now, I'll just make a second video after this one, and I'll give you an alternate way to view the rubric because it's important for this first week. And then the last one of these 4 is grades. And simply, you will go into Canvas, click on the grade tab, and you will see your grades. And some of the grading is done automatically, like quizzes. The other stuff I do manually, but I am a pretty quick grader. I don't think I've ever gone more than 2 weeks where you turn something in and I have it back to you graded. So you know what your grades are on a regular basis with me just by clicking on the grades tab and looking in there. It'll show you what your grade is now, very accurately, in fact. So if you look in there and you see your grade is a 67 and you're like, ooh, that's a D, that's not very good. Oh yeah, but I haven't written the term paper yet. No, that's not how it works. It's saying that if I had to give you a grade right now, that's what it would be. And then if you take the term paper and you happen to also get a 67% on that, those two would average into each other and that would be your grade for the class. So if at any point in the semester your grade is not looking like what you expect, either A, you need to kick it in and get up there, but B, there could also be a mistake. So of course, contact me, which leads me to my next point. When you do contact me, email me through Canvas. On the syllabus, you will see another email address, but that's for, let's say, after class is over and you need to contact me for, I don't know, like a copy of the syllabus for another college or, something like that. But while class is on, please email me through Canvas. So the way you do that is you click on this little icon here, and it takes you into the actual email area, and then you click on this compose a new message tab, select the course that you want to send an email through, and then give it a topic and populate it and send it. All right, let's talk a little bit more about how to keep this a warm and fuzzy environment, inviting and so on, while also being a college class. Please know this, the class is accelerated. There's 45 students in here, so I can't give you a personal response to everything that you do in the class. But when it's something that does require feedback, your feedback comes in the form of the rubric, which I'm going to talk about in the next video. But what really happens is it turns out that the top students in the class, the ones that are really geared up and doing everything right, hear from me the least in online classes. But just for everyone involved, make sure that you look at the rubric when you get your grade so you know where you did less than 100%, because the grading gets stricter as the semester progresses. So let's say the first week I'm like, okay, well, this is everyone's first week doing a discussion post with me. And so I might give you less than, the maximum points on your response because it didn't sound quite so professional. So look at that. And if you see, okay, yeah, I could have got up to X amount of points there, but I got, 3 points less, then make sure you understand why. And it should tell you right there in the rubric. But if not, shoot me an email. Because if you keep doing that week after week, then instead of probably getting a B for that same level of work, you might get a C the following week, because the assumption is that I gave you that opportunity to see where you weren't running at 100%, and you should learn from that and then do better. And another attempt to keep things personal is I'll release videos like this along the way. Most likely every week when a new announcement comes up, there'll be a new video embedded right there in the announcement. And what I'll talk about on those videos is like common trends that I saw. Like if everyone answered a question, or not everyone, but a lot of people answered a question in a certain way, and it was a little bit off topic or what I really expected you to learn from that particular week, then I'll mention that. So it'll give it that a little bit of a feel like being more in a classroom environment where I can make some corrections and some additional knowledge along the way. Those videos are required. They do become part of the class, because if I say, okay, we had some good responses this week, but let me give you an example of what I don't want to see in the future, then that becomes something that you are then responsible for and should be reflected in the new work. So the idea is to constantly improve the learning experience, because that's what the ultimate goal is. Not for me to be some keeper of grades, but to make sure that you're learning stuff so that at the end of the semester you really feel like you do understand the history of graphic design. I wanted to quickly show you, this is the textbook that we use here. Author is Meggs, and it's the history of graphic design. So there'll be a second video posted in this announcement, and in that one I'll go over the first module with you real quickly, and we'll talk about how to view the rubric.